Welcome to the newest fantasy football show on the net, The Sideline. What I want to do is focus on some of these big matchups, some of these big games happening around the NFL, and how that is going to affect your starters and some of your main guys that you put on the field.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 5 here on Sideline. We've got a great show for you today. After a crazy week around the NFL, we're going to jump right into it. With me, as always, Gerard Grimes.
Hoorah to all my devil dogs over in Afghanistan. What? That's right, my brothers.
Back in the house, Ava, the aviator, ready to take flight.
It's Chromosomes representing.
We're going to jump right into it, guys. First of all, we're going to start with these fantasy hot ads here, courtesy of Yahoo Sports, as always. Yahoo's always got the best info coming off the net. Top ads, one of my guys, Washington running back Ryan Terrain. Ava, I know you like Ryan. What you think about that?
I mean, Clinton Portis' injury really opened things up for him, and I think he's going to do a really good job. I can't wait to watch him in the future.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit more of a punishing runner than Portis. Catches the ball well out of the backfield, so I'm definitely on board with that. Too. Yeah, he is. He's quicker. He's like faster. Younger legs.
Portis might lose his spot, you know.
Yeah, it's
I doubt it. I doubt it.
They've talked about making Portis a third down back, though. I think it's actually a good mix. You give the ball to Terrain first and second down, bring Portis in on third down.
Not sure. Portis is still doing his thing.
With the Patriots trading Randy Moss to the Vikings, one guy who everybody added this week, Brandon Tate, speed guy, got a couple kickoff returns for touchdowns. Yeah. I like this guy. I think one thing, of course, you lose the size of a Randy Moss, you lose the jumping ability and, you know, being able to jump over a taller corner. But this guy actually, at this point in his career, you gain some speed with Brandon Tate being on the field versus Randy Moss. I like this.
I like it, but you also got to think that since he does do special teams, is that going to take away from his performance at wide receiver?
I would venture to say that knowing Bill Belichick, he will pull him off the kickoff returns. They got 4 or 5 guys that can return kickoffs. If he's going to be a starter, he's definitely not going to be returning kicks. They're going to use him, you know, pretty much solely on offense. The next guy, Matt Bryant, we all saw he kicked 3 field goals, kicked a game winner again. The Falcons are relying.
If they knew how to make touchdowns, they wouldn't need him.
They are relying way too much on their kicking game.
They are.
But one guy that I really love who's on this list is Sam Bradford, the #1 pick overall from St. Louis. The guy's playing lights out, man. I think we saw in the preseason, his first start in the preseason, he played really well against the Patriots, but he's come in now. He's got the Rams at 2-2. They won 2 games in a row for the first time in 32 years.
Yeah, I think they've actually made the Rams relevant again. Like,
but if you saw him in preseason, why would he still be available now?
Yeah, that's a great question.
He wasn't available in, out of my 6 leagues, 5 leagues, he was not available at all.
I'm gonna tell you one reason why. He does
smarter than y'all.
He does not have a #1 wideout. They traded for Mark Clayton, but Sam Bradford still doesn't have a #1 wideout. They lost Donnie Avery in the preseason.
Came from us, so garbage.
And then the last guy here on this list is running back Fred Jackson from the Bills. I'm not too big on this one. I know they traded Marshawn Lynch away. They're probably thinking this guy's gonna get some more carries, but we're still talking about the Bills here. So what's he really gonna do?
0-5.
Right.
Wow.
Zero.
Right?
Zero.
Ridiculous.
Well, like I said, week 4 in the league was crazy, and there's, you know, some of these hot topics, some of these hot players coming off of week 4. Yahoo has the New England defense, of course, up at the top. Again, we've talked about the defense in fantasy football and the way that it's really a lot of times more a function of the special teams play, which New England dominated against the Dolphins. 2 touchdowns, a couple block kicks. So, you know, this defense, I think, can go either way. They're not really playing that well in actual defense.
That's true. I mean, are they finally molding like they should be under Belichick? Or did they just overplay?
Well, like I said, they have some rookies in the secondary. They've got some young guys up front. I just don't think they're playing that well as a defense.
Not as defense.
So it's more their special teams aspect. Now, one guy that I love on this hot list, and he's been hot all season, is Arian Foster down in Houston. You know, another guy.
Like 537 yards.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. Yeah. Come on, seriously, more than Adrian Peterson.
Yep.
I mean, Ray Rice, well, we know he got hurt. But, I mean, did anybody see this coming? I got him in the 5th round.
Did you have him?
Did anybody see it coming?
You might not have seen it coming, but you can justify it just based on how well Matt Schaub is playing. Andre Johnson's been lights out as always,
Exactly.
and plus with Andre Johnson spraining that ankle, they're handing the ball off a lot more to Arian Foster. This is the first time Houston has really truly had a legitimate running game. They passed on Reggie Bush back in 06. A lot of people thought that was going to be the answer.
Smart move.
Smart move.
Smart move.
Smart move. Arian Foster is definitely the guy down there. Another guy who's on this list who, you know, he had a great game. Terrell Owens had 220 some yards receiving. We've talked about alligator arms, and you love to go there on the who did they play. And I always maintain these are pro players. This guy still did this in an NFL game.
Okay.
So he does deserve a little bit of props.
They do get an NFL. Just because they get an NFL paycheck does not mean they're NFL players.
Owens has had over 15,000 yards in his whole career.
T.O. is clearly an NFL player.
He is.
Clearly.
He's still a T-Rex, though.
Moving on, another guy who you thought, I'm coming at you today, another guy who you thought was over and done with, who proved that he was back.
Prove to me that you can constantly keep it up. That's what I said. Well, I didn't say he was done. I said he's past his prime. Show me you can keep doing this over a period of time. That's what I said. He did his thing.
You can only take advantage of the opportunities you're given. He's had 4 opportunities, and he's made the most of them. Right, that says it all. When he picked him up. So that says it all. LT's officially back.
And watch, he's going to get 4 points next week. I mean, seriously, he's just going to hurt me.
But again, still talking about this week 4 that was just crazy. There were so many close games. 2 of the undefeated teams got beaten. We've still only got 1 undefeated team now with Kansas City,
who didn't play and still almost got beat.
Right, which they could take that L this week against the Colts possibly.
Manning is going to be mad.
But the bottom line here is that there were some games, as we always like to talk about, some that impressed us and some that disappointed us. Now, you know, I'm going to go first on this one. True to my heart, close to my heart, I was very impressed with those Redskins. As much as I love Mike Vick, and we talked about it last week, the Redskins came into the link, came into Philly,
broke him,
and pretty much beat the Eagles down.
They did.
They didn't kill them on the scoreboard, but they pretty much beat them down.
And did you see Brandon Banks? Brandon Banks returned a punt, drove it up. I really think he set the momentum.
Yeah, no question. No, it was a big turnaround in that game.
My cousins are loving it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about watching it. My disappointment, again, I'm going hard at Gerard this week. The Falcons, man, what happened?
We won. That's what happened.
We won the game.
We won. That's what happened. I don't care what.
If you want to be an elite team in this league, though, let me just say this: if you want to be an elite team, you have to blow out the poor teams.
What did I say last week? Didn't I say it was a trap?
You know, you did.
Did I not?
You did.
I said they're going to go in there. They're going to have the big, swole Marmaduke head, and they're just going to look over them. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to get stuck, and they almost got it.
But you had I really liked some of the things you were talking about with a team that really impressed you, and the Lions.
Oh, the Lions. Let me tell you something. They lost. But you know what? This is what we can call a great loss because you saw a team coming together. They shredded a top 5 defense. Shredded the Lions. Come on now, seriously. What, 431 yards against Green Bay?
If you look, they very, very feasibly, if they don't get robbed in week 1 against the Bears, they could very easily be 2-2 right now.
If you take away the 1 interception that the defensive MVP had in this game, they win.
Right. Easily they could be 2-2.
They win.
And what about your disappointment? Who got on your bad list this week?
You know, it was a lot of teams that should have had, better games. But the one that stood out to me was the Colts. I'm sorry. It's still Jacksonville. It's still the Jaguars. For you to give up 5.9 yards per play to the Jaguars? How are you going to make it to the Super Bowl? Explain that to me.
The only thing the Jaguars have going for them is Maurice Jones.
They have a hooker defense. It's a hooker defense.
They're getting run through.
It's not even a Matador defense. It's a hooker defense.
Ava, real quick, who'd you like from last week?
I gotta say again, I was really feeling Brandon Banks. I was also feeling T.O., but I know we're gonna talk about him a little bit later on. Why do you have to hate on T.O.? Like,
I'm talking about him.
He has the yards. He
does.
He does.
He had his one good game.
You cannot refute that.
One game.
It wasn't one.
I'm with you.
Career
I'm with you though.
You with me? Okay.
T.O. played really well. Brandon Banks gave them the Redskins, that is, a spark in that return game. So, you know, hopefully those guys can continue to do some of the things in Week 5 that they did in Week 4. And speaking of that, let's talk about some of these other guys that had big Week 4 games. Are they going to be able to replicate that success? Starting off with Carson Palmer, he threw for 371 yards, going against the Tampa defense this week that is not the Tampa defense of old.
Not a Tampa 2 anymore.
You got T.O. and Chad Johnson going up against 47-year-old Rondé Barber and a young Aqib Talib who is still kind of coming into his own as a corner.
Who is in the doghouse because he can't stay out of trouble.
Right. So, I mean, I actually want to go with this one. As much as I'm down on Cincinnati's offense, I'm going to go with Carson Palmer keeping up that production. T.O. got hot. Hopefully Chad can get hot. Yeah, if they get Cedric Benson going in the running game, they could be good.
Not coming back. He's not.
Unless they bring Derek Brooks out of retirement, Warren Sapp out of retirement.
Go get Warren done because you need running back.
What about LT? We talked about LT. Ava, I want to hear from you on this one. LT, you know, we've been talking about him all season long. Is he back? Is he not back? Ran for 133 yards. He's going against the Minnesota defense that has been up and down. But obviously, the Jets are on a roll right now. What do you think about LT?
I mean, for being 31 years old, even you have to admit you're.
I already did. Why are y'all picking on me? You know, I'm sensitive.
You're easy to pick on. You're easy to pick on.
I think Tomlinson is consistent. I really like this guy.
No, I like him too, and I'm going to tell you why I like him even more, because the Jets get back a guy who's been on a 4-game suspension, Santonio Holmes, who was Super Bowl MVP. Rex Ryan and that whole staff up there keeps saying this guy is ultimately their best receiver. So what he does is puts another guy out there that you got to guard.
Put Braylon Edwards on the other side. That's the number 2.
Oh, right. Chances are you're going to see Minnesota in a lot of pass type coverage, which means hand that thing off to LT and we keep it rolling.
They keep that front four.
We talked about Carson Palmer, and obviously on the receiving end, a lot of those balls that Carson's throwing is T.O. 222 yards last week. Again, going against Tampa. This should be a rout, and I can see both T.O. and Chad having 100 yards. Come on. Come on.
Yes.
And it's against Tampa. You should be hating on Tampa. That's an NFC South foe.
I hate whatever they are. I hate those pirate people down there.
We can be cool again. We can be cool.
I don't like being cool with you.
Speaking about the state of Florida, one of the other teams in Florida, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, I know. They are an NFL team. It doesn't look like it, but they are. Dave Gerard threw for 3 touchdowns against that Colts defense that we talked about. They're going against Buffalo this week. Now, again, Buffalo is like a Division II college football team, but I still think that they got what it takes on defense to shut down Jacksonville. The only thing Jacksonville's got is Maurice Jones-Drew.
Buffalo. Can they beat Georgia State? Really, Buffalo? Seriously, right now. I mean, at this point.
Well,
no.
We're going to find out because it's going to be a game of a couple of the 2 lesser teams in the league.
Nobody's going to see it. It's going to be blacked out in the world.
Now, Aaron Rodgers is another guy who had a big week, 3 TDs in Week 4. Week 5, he's got the Redskins. I'm going to go with the Redskins defense on this, shutting down Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, because he's averaging now 2 interceptions a game.
Right.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
you're dropping from my team, homie. I'm not liking you right now. You're getting shredded.
Wow.
No.
Just like that, huh?
I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be getting anywhere from 20 to 25 points a game. He's getting 15 to 17.
Yeah.
He's killing it.
A lot of good games on the schedule this week, but that's going to do it for us here on Week 5 of Sideline. Thanks for tuning in again. And as always, we're going to let him close it out with any last words.
What is the
Greasy, always got something crazy.
I just have questions.
That is all enlighten us, young brother.
If a clock is hungry, does it go back 4 seconds? That's all I want to know. Just ask.
That's the best one so far. That is the best one yet. I love that. I love that.
Oh, I got it.
See? This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Let's get it fixed, please.
Ava, give us something. The Aviator.
We got to change
take
that
flight.
Aviator. You got to like grounder or something.
What?
Go ahead. Do your thing.
I'm aviating. I'm just representing for the X chromosomes. X.
She's a Z. She got a Z chromosome.
You might have an extra chromosome right now is what it's looking like. Wow.
No, I'm hot. I'm hot.
As always, I'm going to close it out. I like to go for the feel-good stories. I'm going to say congrats to Randy Moss. I'm happy that he went back home, and I'm happy that he's happy, and they did him right. They sent him to a team that's a contender. Go get that championship, Randy. You've been wanting it. It's been eluding you. Go get that thing.
Not this year. It's coming to Atlanta.
That's it for Week 5 on Sideline. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
How can you say it's coming through Atlanta? Like,
hey, Jimmy, how you gonna have a Super Bowl ring and drive a Fusion? I just want to know. Answer me that.
Wow.
Oh, did you?
I just got questions. It's a hybrid.
Time to tune in. 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 Here we go. Here we go. It's time to tune in. 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 Time to tune in.